Well, Kemi Bamishaye, thank you so much for joining us today on our Let's Talk Money video podcast.
Thank you for having me, Ray. I really appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Well, Kemi, you do a lot of things which we're really interested in. As you know, we're talking about financial literacy. We're talking about coercive financial control, and we've interviewed a lot of people who know about both of those subjects. But we hear some very, very sad stories. But let's talk to you about what you do, because financial literacy is very much your thing. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Absolutely. I'm really passionate about financial literacy because when growing up, that information was not available to me. And it also led me to make certain mistakes that I have learned firsthand, and I don't want other people to make those mistakes. So that's the reason, and that's what Distinctive Solutions was born out of, um, hoping to help other people, particularly those from disadvantaged backgrounds where information doesn't flow the way that it should. And that's why Distinctive Solutions has gone into many schools, sixth forms, colleges, spoken to women and people that are vulnerable as well, just with regard to how to budget, how to manage a credit score, how to improve a credit score, um, and looking at investments as well, talking about how this can be done safely and not in a get rich quick kind of way, which is often I've seen that and also experienced it myself. So being able to share firsthand about what those kind of programs can do and how it can impact, your finances and things like that.
Okay. What made you want to do this in the first place? I know that you've had some experience with inner city schools. Was that the beginning of this process?
Yeah, I think I was working in a school in Hackney, and many young people were making extremely poor decisions about what they did with their finances, particularly when they turned 18 and those credit card opportunities might be coming through the door, even though they've stopped that now, which is fantastic news. But still, that opportunity to bring that knowledge to young people or vulnerable individuals who may not have had that information, especially those that have been in the care system, maybe had access to money, and then just spends it um, without thinking about the consequences. So, really, the workshops that we do are around consequences and planning, which instead of having that instant gratification, thinking about long term plans and compound effect as well, just bringing that into the understanding of people that may not have never heard about these terms before. Yeah.
Right. I can tell you that I was born and brought up in Hackney,
Oh,
w-
really?
went to school there. So my question is, where were you?
I was on Mare Street. Do you know
Okay,
Mare Street? Of course you
you,
know Mare Street.
yeah, I know Mare Street, absolutely. I used to shop there a lot.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, the answer to where were you is you weren't born, so I'm 100 years older than you, so there you go. But I can certainly relate to everything you're saying, and I know that you combine financial literacy with decision making, because they
Absolutely.
kind of are interlinked, aren't they?
It is all about the mindset. I truly believe that, the decisions that we make have a knock-on effect to how we kind of end up in the end. Like whatever I decide to do today will impact my tomorrow. And just by making small positive decisions with our finances leads to compounding and an increase in our wealth. So instead of having that kind of instant gratification, I need this now, 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 which is very much the way in which a lot of us think, particularly young people, but it's not restricted to young people either, because even when going into some of the sixth forms and the colleges, the staff were like, "Can you just tell me about that website again? Can you run?" So it was definitely, and I think that's what opened me up to say this is not just about young people, Kemi. This is about um, adults that have made poor decisions and not sure what to do, and how, just anybody that needs support and advice can tap into some of the workshops that we do.
Yeah, that's really interesting because financial literacy is not just about young people, because
Absolutely.
whatever you don't know when you're at school and when you leave school, maybe you still don't know in your mid 20s, when you're 30, in your mid 30s. Um, if you don't know, you're never going to do anything about it, are you?
It follows you right the way through. It really does. But it's never too late. And I always feel as if there's, knowledge, application of knowledge is power. And if we've, taken on board this information, willing to learn, um, because I'm a strong advocate for continued professional development,
Yeah,
just continuously learning. This conversation with you, Ray, is a learning experience for me. And so I just see it that, anybody that's willing to learn can tap into um, allowing yourself to be a bit vulnerable as well, because sometimes we don't want to share, especially culturally. What I find within some of the communities, particularly my own community as well, we don't talk about money.
no,
We don't want to talk about money, and shy away from these kind of conversations. So when they're coming to the forefront, it allows us to be like, "Oh, did you do that too? Oh, wow. I can connect with you and I can learn from you and I can learn with you." Yeah,
yeah. Yes, I recall when my kids left school and fortunately they all went to university, they were still asking questions like, Dad, what are rates?
absolutely.
Why do
APR.
we have to pay them? This is huge. And obviously taxation, and the biggest thing of all, which I think follows people through their um, early years and middle age, is pensions. They
Yeah,
don't understand that when they get to my age and a lot younger than me, they have to survive without working. How do they do that?
absolutely.
Where do pensions come from? But the state gives us the pension. Yeah. Do you want to know what it is? Do you want to know whether you can live on that? It's
Exactly.
financial literacy follows you all the way through your life.
Absolutely. And it's not in the schools.
No,
It's not in our education system. It's not at the forefront. There's not it's not highlighted as the way that it should be for adults to say, actually, if these are the choices that you've made, if these are the situations that you're facing with regard to not being able to manage your bills, feeling overwhelmed, and going to loan sharks, or tapping into high APR. What is APR? How does that in fact impact you? Um, I think just opening up these kinds of conversations is huge, and it's quite empowering as well. I feel as if some of the decisions that I made when I was younger, if I would have known then what I know now, I'd be a lot further along
yeah,
um, in what I'm doing. But at the same time, I'm on a journey, the same way that we all are in life. And so 4 o'clock doesn't come at the same time for everybody. And so if mine is slightly behind, I still get there. Just get there
brilliant.
safely.
I like it. So can you remember what actually switched you on to this interest? How old were you, and what was it that happened?
I think I was probably in about my mid 20s, and
Mm,
I was in debt, and I had made really poor decisions about credit cards. So when we were growing up, as soon as you turn 18, American Express was your friend. I'm like, and it was like I was in a circle of friends that would just be like, "Oh, what credit cards have you got? Oh, and everybody's like buying all these clothes that we just really don't need and really cannot afford." And, just it was like a wake up call for me. It was a real wake up call for me when it just got to a point where um, I was not in control of my finances, and it was like
Right.
enough is enough. And so everything just changed. I just said, even the circle of friends that I had changed, because
Really?
sometimes it's about show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And I think sometimes you can be in environments whereby it has a negative impact on where you're going or what you're doing. Um, you know, and I just think that was a real turning point for me, where I was able to say, these are decisions now. I'm going to start to save, and I'm going to learn about how to invest. And it's one of the best decisions, as you said. It's a lifelong decision as well. It's one of the best decisions that I've ever made.
And who did you turn to for your information? Was there one person? Was there a situation that made you change? Where did you get your information from once you wanted to find out how you could actually manage your life better?
So I began to read books around investment, reading books around managing finance, um, listening to podcasts, um, just looking on YouTube. I just started to CPD that I'm talking about, that continued personal and professional development. I just immersed myself in wanting to find out more about how to improve my financial circumstances. Um, and I think that was really like, because sometimes you can listen to people that are in your circle, but they're going through similar things to yourself.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like the blind leading the blind, and no one quite has that level of expertise that you're looking for. And um, also, I would say as well, uh, family members,
Right.
sort of looking to role models within the family that were making positive decisions. And I just thought, actually, it's time to sort of like mimic what I can see. There's a blueprint here. And if I choose to follow that blueprint, I would end up in this particular position or on this road. And so that's what I decided to do.
Right. I really love the way you link this learning to CPD, continuing professional development or personal development, um, in a way that I think is the most dynamic I've ever heard, because most professions have a requirement for individuals to follow CPD. But I've worked with a lot of people in the health profession, for instance, where you pay lip service or they pay lip service to CPD, and you can actually list the number of magazines you read regularly and lectures you listen to, but it's not really taken that seriously. But the way you link it, it's so serious that it's about your life. If you don't take it seriously, you don't grow, you don't actually become a better person. And actually, your life becomes easier if you do actually increase your personal development on financial matters. It's so important. So I love the way you link those two things together.
Thank you. I think as well, it's something that I was talking to Gulnaz about as well, was just with regard to like leadership. And I
Mm.
truly believe that that is another one of my passions. And I truly believe that lead by example. So what I what I say should be in line with what I'm doing. And by that, then other people around you can be inspired and be encouraged to make better decisions, and being, as I said before, vulnerable and open. about things because I think it makes a big difference when you're able to speak like this, and share that actually it's not been perfect for me. I've made many mistakes and I'll probably make a few more. But that is the way I see those as experiences that have shaped my character. Um, and and leadership's like that as well. It's just a continuous journey of learning and sharing.
Okay. So tell us about your organization and what it does.
So we've recently been given or assigned the lead role to be the lead for a network of organisations that supports the special educational needs area
Okay.
community, and that is going to be a really massive project that we're going to be working over the next 5 years. And the aim is that young people who are neurodiverse or may find it difficult to make decisions
Right.
about their finances will be given workshops on how to manage their finances, but also be signposted to other services. So, where I grew up was in the East End of London, and in the borough of Newham, it's quite, I would say, quite disjointed at the moment with regard to information. And I feel like there's a lot more work that needs to be done to bring services and collaborate with organisations and businesses into one place, similar to the work that you're doing, which is I just think is fantastic. When you have a group of like-minded people that come together, um, it's encourages everybody, and it's a network. So that is our plan, that we over the next few years we network with other organisations, Senkos, people that are around within the special educational needs community, and acknowledge the successes and the good decisions that people are making, give awards for success and achievements within, it could be within completing workshops around finance, or the way that they've used their budget to maybe start a small business or things like that. So yeah, just bringing finance to the forefront really within the special educational needs community.
Okay. That sounds fantastic. So my problem, and I imagine it's your problem as well, is that there's only one of you. So Newham's going to benefit from the way you are and what you believe in and your organization. But there are so many other Newhams around this country that will not get that. And it bothers me. How do we make that change? How do we change the system?
That's such a powerful question. Automation, um, networking, collaboration, good practice, sharing of good practice, and relationships. The aim of it, actually, the 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 network that we're part of is one that is stretched across the UK. Although they're doing different projects, we're all coming under the same umbrella,
Right.
and so I believe that's going to be quite a good way to make other people aware of the various services, whether that be finance, whether that be marginalised communities that need support with business, or helping people to access and signpost to different services that are required. I feel like the more that we're known as across the UK, um, then it will inspire others, because, as you say, I can't do everything. The
Mm.
organisation can't do everything, and nor would I want to. But what I would like to see Distinctive Solutions be a service that is able to be picked up, automated, and carried on by somebody else in another place, tapping in for resources or um, videos or anything that they need. They can come back into Distinctive Solutions, but they'll be able to set up and do that there. So that's the sort of the vision to get it across the UK.
Okay. How about distinctive solutions gets embedded into the curriculum of all schools? That sounds like a great thing. How do we help you make that happen? How do you, because we could sit around and talk about this and with lots of other people, and everyone would agree, hey, that makes sense. Everything Kemi's saying makes sense. And wouldn't it be right to have that sense embedded in the school curriculum? And when you've taught in schools, don't the teachers feel that way? Don't you? It sounds like they've responded quite well to you.
They have, but then we've got the issue of funding, and I believe that it should be in all schools. I believe that it's about the right people hearing about the services and making the right choices. Um, I mean, there have been, especially in Haringey, I must say, um, huge support from Haringey Sixth Form because of the principal there. She is passionate about every single young person having a better start in life with their financial literacy as they leave from her as an adult and transition into adulthood, that they are prepared. And I think it's about transformational leaders like herself to be raise awareness. And I think even conversations like what we're having now is raising awareness.
Yes,
Um, and the more uh, people that tap into what's happening, we will knock on the right doors and they will open. I think it just takes time. It's been a long time coming for Distinctive Solutions, and we are getting there. Um, and I think sometimes what I've learned along the way is patience is a virtue, and nothing happens before its time. So um, it's definitely been a process for me as an individual and for the team, and also for those young people that we've been able to impact and see that happen over the years. So there's evidence of what we're doing. So I think um, the next few years will be quite interesting for financial literacy.
yes. Well, the great thing about getting to the age I am is that patience really isn't an option. There's not enough time left. But I actually think you're one of the transformational leaders that you've spoken about, but you are one of those.
Thank you.
And I just think it should be embedded into our society. Now, one of the issues that we're particularly concerned about is coercive financial control. And we've discussed with others some terrible case histories. And I
Mm,
guess where there is no real understanding of financial matters, where there is domestic abuse, control, which is financial, can be made very easy because the victim of that abuse doesn't have that information, hasn't had that education, and they are really subject to the most incredibly terrifying abuse that we've heard of. And I don't think society is actually helping them. Have you ever come across any instances of coercive financial control?
not directly for the work that we've been doing, but we have worked with vulnerable women, and I think um, whether some of them had mental health issues, and I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this area with regard to um, the services sharing in multidisciplinary services coming together and sharing signposting women that need that support. So that's my angle on this topic, is that we need to raise awareness within the boroughs, within the local boroughs, where they have women that have been suffering this kind of abuse, to know this is the support that should be offered to these women, so that they can understand their rights and what they should not be subjected to. So I just think really there's a lot of work. There's a great deal of work to be done in this area. Yep.
Okay.
But again, um, the website that we have as well will have, and I really want to find out more about other organisations that are supporting women with these issues, because it would be great to be able to signpost women not only in Newham but across the UK. So the idea is that Distinctive Solutions website will be a hub of information where people can come to, and if this is an issue with regard to finance, we can signpost you here. We may not be able to do it in-house because we can't do everything, but can recommend that this is an excellent service. We've checked them out, and this is where we would like you to go to.
Well, I think She Inspires Foundation would totally agree with you that signposting is so important. You can't do everything in life, but there are other people that are doing it very well, and directing people who need the help to those organisations is important. Could you just make sure we know about your website? What's the URL of your organisation?
www.distinctivesolutions.co.uk. And we've also launching voiceswithinsend.co.uk. So it's just under refurbishment at the moment, and it's due to launch by the 1st of December. Both of those sites will be all singing and all dancing.
I love it.
Yes.
We'll be sure to put those tags at the end of this video.
Thank you
So,
so much.
Kemi Bamishaye, I think we should have you on again, and
I'd love to.
when you've done other things, it would be great to talk to you about it. So, thank you so much for your time today. It's been really, really interesting, and good luck with everything you do. And give my love to Hackney when you pass through it.
Thank you so much, Ray. All the best.
Okay, take care.
Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.